such as, I think you and I discussed maybe root vegetables. So I got, you know, turnips and parsnips and what have they done, celery root and watermelon root, etc.
Oh, delicious.
And then I, you know, dice them all up. And you said the only way, you know, the healthiest shortening oil to use is like coconut oil.
Absolutely. Coconut oil is...
So I put it in the oven, and it took like 2 hours almost for it to cook. It doesn't brown with the coconut oil,
Okay.
but what it does is it sort of dehydrates it,
Okay.
but it gets it tender.
Well, if you want to tenderize those root vegetables a little quicker, you might want to try boiling them. So if you boil them first and then you want to like crispen them up in the oven, that'd probably be a little bit better idea. Because I actually make like a fry slicer at home, so I can pretend I'm having French fries with coconut oil.
Well, that's cool.
So but it's the same thing. It doesn't really brown, you know,
I've done it though. Yeah, put them in the pan after and fry them, and they get crispier, like French fries.
Like a dry pan?
Just like even a frying pan.
Yeah, like a dry, no oil.
Yeah, a little bit of oil.
Coconut oil,
Yep.
But yeah, so if, you know, when it comes to cooking, you know, those are very good questions when it comes to cooking, because a lot of times when it comes to the nutrition portion of this, is that there's a lot of different things that when we try out different new foods, we have to go and experiment a little bit because we're not used to cooking with certain foods, and that's a very good question, Judy.
So there's like a second part to that.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
If something doesn't agree with you, and I think I don't know what that means.
Yep.
It's not stomach pain, but
Yes.
Does that mean it's the food we've eaten that doesn't agree with us, or it's not being digested?
Again, everyone has a different health level that we're dealing with. This is why this is individually. That's a very good question, because, like, for example, if some people can go and digest some forms of dairy, and so a lot of people can't. Especially start off with, like, the healthier your body is on the inside when we talk about the digestive system is actually when we talk about the inside of our body. So our digestive system is actually, you know, extremely important to the health of our immune system to be able to actually digest and absorb the foods that we eat. So the healthier our digestive system is, the more foods that we can go and handle. If we're dealing with a little bit more of a compromised digestive system, yeah, there are going to be foods that some give us more problems that perhaps sometimes wouldn't others. So we would just go and change things on an individual basis. If something doesn't agree with you, like you know, like for example, my mom has trouble dealing with, you know, orange juice because you know, because it's a little too acidic for her. We go and try something different. So, you know, it's different to try to get the same types of nutrients that we're trying to replace. So there'll be, you know, so we can go and maybe try a different food or cook it a different way. You know, we just kind of experiment a little bit, because our body is our own best barometer for this. So when I talk about that, is that a lot of times you see, you know, information on the internet or on television about what foods are good for us. A lot of times, though, that there's nothing else that really can go and tell food is good for us, but what our body is telling is good for us. You know, if you go and eat a food and it gives you that digestive problems, it probably should, you know, we probably shouldn't be having it. Whereas, you know, there may be the opposite is true. So that's a very good question. People have that issue.
What's the best time of day to exercise?
It depends on the person and what their own individual program is. So, you know, some people who have a lot of injuries and need to be, well, you know, need to be more careful. You know, have a lot of strenuous activity during the day, like a strenuous job. They probably don't want to tire themselves out right before they go to that strenuous job. They put themselves at more risk of hurting themselves. So that, you know, some person may want to work out a little bit later in the evening. Whereas someone who is like, all right, all I've got time for is this block of time to do this. Then we got to use that. Now, you know, there's different theories on that, but again, the best exercise program is one that we'll do and do consistently. You know, I can design what I think is the greatest exercise program in the world, but if the person doesn't do it, it's the worst exercise program in the world. So, So again, there are some theories on that, but really, it's all about what works best for the person, not just kind of what some scientific literature that was probably bought off by Gatorade may think. So, a good question.
I have a question about something she said, like the coconut flour, using that or any flours other than the white flour to bake. Now, obviously that caused a real problem with me because of the density of it. But isn't it also something like if you did take smaller pork, don't eat a whole muffin made of it, maybe just have a quarter of it, you have to acclimate it?
Exactly. So some foods, like if you've never had if you've never had a certain food before, like you pick up like a root vegetable, like if you've never had rutabaga before, and then you pick up and have yourself 3 rutabagas in one sitting, our body may go, sometimes it takes a little time for our body to go and, because our body kind of adapts to the food that we're eating when it comes to the enzymes that we produce to digest the food. So it can kind of have that adaptation, so we have a little bit slower at it. You have to kind of sometimes integrate new foods that way, depending on how we feel.
The other thing is the coconut oil, obviously, we've been buying it a lot. And New York Times had an article saying that there's going to be a limited supply because it takes a long time to grow coconut trees, and these are now in Honduras and Indonesia and places like that, and they're not paying the farmer enough. And you should get virgin coconut oil. So is there going to be an issue? And Dr. Oz also recently, again, Dr. Oz says that everybody buys it, so there's going to be
yes.
prices will go up.
I have an online source that, for you.
Well, yeah, there's lots of online sources for those types of foods, but that's right, because now people are going to find out some healthier options. Those healthier options become less of there's more demand, less of supply. The price is going to go up. But again, when it comes to actually if you're going to go and spend money on something that's organic, actually organic fats are actually the best things to actually go and spend money on when it comes to organic fats and pastured animal foods, because of the nutrient density in them is actually, it's a very good point. It may be more expensive, but again, it's, would you rather spend money on food or would you rather spend money on medical care? Because the average is like we're averaging that each person in the United States is spending $9,000 a year on medical care. Yeah, exactly. Can't afford to be sick. Exactly. So food is good. I kind of like the taste of food rather than going and getting pills. So.
I do.
Any other questions so far?
It's not a question, just Aaron shared with us, I have a hard time getting the coconut oil down, other than cooking with it. And he shared with me a little trick, and I put a teaspoon of coconut oil in my coffee in the morning with a little bit of coconut sugar. And boy, you're getting a teaspoon of coconut oil right there with your cup of coffee in the morning. It
Tastes
melts
pretty
in there,
good, too.
tastes good, has a little coconut flavor.
Yeah,
They do that where my mom lives, and she lives in assisted living for actually dementia. And they put in their tea, and she doesn't squawk about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's that's what they were finding out about the effects of the fats in coconut oil, about how they help with dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that. So, but yeah. Any other questions?
I have a lot more. But
All right. Well, yeah. Let's.
like body cleansing, like you said, if your digestive system isn't used to something, is it better to just do a general cleanse and then introduce all these foods in?
Well, when it comes to those cleanses that most people try to do, is how many people have done a cleanse or have tried a cleanse before?
Try what?
You've tried a cleanse, like one of those cleanse, cleanse diet or liver cleanses or colon cleanses or things like that. It's a lot. So some people have tried those things.
Yeah.
The thing is that you're trying. What the goal of those things is to try to get rid of some toxins in our body. The problem is how are we getting the toxins in our body in the first place? It's probably because of the foods that we're eating. Most likely, the foods that we're eating, the water that we're drinking. So if we don't go and clean up what we're eating, what's the point of doing a cleanse? We're going to put the toxins right back in. And a lot of those cleanses there's really not a lot of evidence to go and show that they do work extremely well in the long term. And a lot of times the stress that you put your body under actually is not worth it. And again, it's more effective to actually go and learn how to go and eat a healthier lifestyle rather than go and try to do some quick fix cleanses. So, okay, that's a great question. All right, so Anything else? Cool. All right, so well, if you guys want to pick up your consultation cards, you guys can go and pick those up. Gretchen has already passed them out, so you guys can pick them up on the table as well. If you guys have other questions as well, one of the things that I wanted as a special offer today for anyone who is who's a guest here, to be able to offer 20% off of initial set of sessions, which is normally when I work with someone, it's usually the first start of sessions is usually a 5-session package, and so to be able to knock that off 20%, so it's kind of like a 4 for 5 deal. So if you guys have, if you guys are interested in being able to start working here, we can be able to go and do that. If you sign up today, we can get 20% off the initial package today. So, and if that's something you guys are interested in, we can be able to help. Myself, my wife can help fill out paperwork. And if you guys have other questions, I'll be available, and you guys can avail yourself of as much food as you want. There's plenty of it. Right, Lorraine? There's still plenty of it left,
Plenty
right?
of food to go around.
Plenty of food to go around. So go ahead and fill your heart's content, and
There's 2 different kinds.
and you guys have a great day.
All right.
Really good. Nice job, Very good.
They have 3 different kinds.
And green, green,
They have no candy.
99.
I think it was all candy.
Yes. Yeah,
Good
that's
job.
actually, I go and, I used to go about this year.
present from Larry.
We can probably move.
Feels like a
Because, because Coach
How you
Gonzalez.
doing? Chuck,
My wife Margie can help with that.
I've met Marty before.
Hi, Rich. Rich.